God would have wanted it.
Oh, that's great. I the only thing I can go by is Gussie. Last year I had to take Gussie down.
Did you go with him?
Yeah, he was 19, and I took him to the APA. And the only thing I didn't like about that, I mean, they were great there. They were really kind. They were very understanding and empathetical. But they charged me extra for being able to be in the room for some reason.
Really?
It was weird. It was kind of weird.
Can I suggest the Humane Society? I
Yeah.
mean, as far as cost goes, we called. Believe me, my wife called a million places. And they had the cheapest thing, and I mean, you don't want to. Yeah, we didn't cheap out. You know what I mean?
Well,
would
no,
have been the same result.
I've had the cat for 19 years. I'm not gonna.
That's another thing.
I want to be with him.
Weenie was 13 years old, which is a good life for a dog. But I thought those little dogs lived to like 20.
Yeah.
And by the way, he was in the best shape out of all the dogs, right? Fat Chino, who's wider than he is long, and Fat Phantom, who's just been fat his whole life. And Weenie was always slim and trim. And
Don't fat shame them, Vic. You're the one who fed them.
Yeah, well, Weenie ate the same stuff.
Oh, okay.
But Weenie got the zoomies. You know what the zoomies are?
Mm.
The zoomies are when you come home and your little dog goes crazy, running around the room, running up on the couch, running back on the floor, back and running all over the place. They're called the zoomies. It's a real thing.
Oh, I got you.
It's a real thing, the zoomies. And Weenie always had the zoomies. And, when I put up a little post on Facebook, and by the way, thank you to everybody who, I can't believe the outpouring of emotions from people who said something about him. But I did hashtag no more zoomies. And when I clicked on the hashtag no more zoomies, there's a ton of them. No more zoomies is a thing. So, yeah, we lost Weenie. So one more thing I want to say. On the ride up there, Jessica and I knew what was going to happen. We knew the outcome, even though we were saying, "Oh, the doctor's going to make you feel better." And I think he knew too. I think Sweeney was like, "God, please, get me out of this." And Jessica was holding him on the way up to the Humane Society, and I'm looking at him and I'm looking at her, and I said, if I was going somewhere where I was going to die, I'd want to be in my wife's arms.
Yeah. And he probably did know it. I mean, my cat, he was very aching. He was moaning. He was at a point where I always told my wife that I'm going to keep him as long as he's comfortable. Once he starts to hurt, you got to take him. And on the way there, he was extremely calm. He was extremely mellow. It was like somebody gave him a big medication, Mm-hmm. So I think maybe it was God's way of saying, okay, calm down. We're going to take care of you here in a minute.
And the thing about that, Ken, is sometimes, I'm sorry.
Oh, that's all right.
Sometimes you just don't know. Because you remember the Phantom story. He laid there and howled for 3 days. To the point where we're like, what are we doing? This dog is suffering. Let's, put him out of his misery.
Yeah.
And then 1 o'clock in the morning that morning, he got up and said, hey, let's go for a walk. I'm hungry. Come on. Everything's fine.
Right.
Right. But with Sweeney, there was I'm telling you, that dog didn't make a sound. But we knew that there was something wrong in his brain, and the best thing for him was to go home. And that's what he did. So. You and I have talked. Oh, and Jessica plays Jessica for me. Thanks, Ken. I forgot what I was going to say. Who cares? Jessica's playing. So the debate is tonight. Have I ever mentioned how much I love this radio station?
It's going to be great.
Tonight's the second Republican debate, and here's what we're going to do, okay? You watch the debate, we'll watch the debate, and then right after the debate, Tony, Katie, and I will be on all of our platforms, which is Facebook, which is Twitter, which is YouTube, surprisingly enough, and Rumble. And we'll talk about the debate, report on it, let you know what we think. You can let us know what you think in the chat box and stuff. It's America Decides 2024, and we have you covered with all the important news and information. Get all the details. at NewstalkSTL.com. Do we do this or do we come back or what
Come
do
back.
we do? Okay. So we'll be right back. Take a phone call and play me some Biden on 1019 and 94.1 News Talk STL. Welcome home. I needed that, Ken. Thanks.
Watch us on our live stream using Rumble, Facebook, and Twitter. The Vic Porcelli Show.
What am I doing here?
On News Talk STL.
All right. Kenny and I on the Coffee to Go. By the way, if you're up early or online early and we're not on yet, go to our Facebook page, and Kenny and I always do a Coffee to Go Facebook Live. And Ken and I talked about St. Louis County Council, Shalonda Webb, proposing an unconstitutional gun ban in St. Louis County. And I'm like, unconstitutional. Did you not catch that word, right? You have the right to bear arms. I don't know what we're going to read you some stuff that's really going to scare you about rights and what Democrats don't want us to have. But having a firearm is your right. Go to Southern Armory to get your firearm because they are St. Louis's home for firearms, ammunition, and accessories. And the greatest thing, if like all that wasn't great enough, the safety and the training will be the thing that could be the difference. Am I right, Ken? I mean, it's one thing to have a gun. To have the safety training is all the difference in the world.
I just had it, and it's amazing.
So they also have the Wise Food Buckets. They have a 25-year shelf life. And, you never know when you may need that. You may never need that. Hopefully you'll never need that. It's easy to find. They're just a mile east of 270 and 44 at 9901 Watson Road. Say hi to Jessica. Say hi to Aaron Tarlow and the gang. We've had a couple of people from Southern Armory do the Pledge of Allegiance for us, too, including Aaron's little daughter, Piper, who said, "Piper, out." So check out Southern Armory. Get your firearms there. Get your training there. Or just go down and talk firearms if you want, okay? Go to southernarmory.com. That's southernarmory.com.
It's always a big deal and a big decision. That's why I want you to call my friends, the folks that we've trusted with our homestead, Eureka Contracting and Roofing. 636-938-ROOF. That's 636-938-ROOF. They are veteran-owned, over 30 years of experience in the construction and insurance industry. They'll replace 100% of your roof, siding, fascia, and gutters. They'll come to you with a personal consultation. Give them a call anytime that Mother Nature strikes you. 636-938-ROOF. Available 24/7 at eurekacontracting.com. That's eurekacontracting.com.
Hi, I'm Rodney Wallner.
And I'm Jen Wallner with the Wallner Home Selling Team at Berkshire Hathaway.
Hey, Jen, how do you sell your home for top dollar?
That's easy. Call the Wallner Home Selling Team at 314-810-SOLD.
What if I want a flexible commission plan?
Call the Wallner Home Selling Team at 314-810-SOLD.
What's the best time to sell your home?
Right now, call the Wallner Home Selling Team at 314-810-SOLD.
For all your real estate needs, call the Wallner Home Selling Team at 314-810-SOLD.
That's 314-810-SOLD.
This Saturday night at 10 on Stories of New Americans.
I'm joined by Helen Gannon, who is from Ireland. Did you want to go back to Ireland?
Oh, I did. I think that anyone who emigrates will realize the painful transition of emigrating.
Yeah.
I was miserable. All I wanted to do was to go back home.
Stories of New Americans, Saturday nights at 10 on News Talk STL.
This National Center for Public Policy update brought to you by Rodney and Jen Wallner and the entire Wallner Home Selling Team at Berkshire Hathaway. Call them today at 314-810-SOLD. Talk lines are open now at 314-912-1019. The Vic Porcelli Show.
It's not personal. It's strictly business.
Made in St. Louis for St. Louis. It's News Talk STL.
And welcome home to 1019 and 94.1 News Talk STL. Boy, I'm just thinking ahead tomorrow to Karen Cataline and all the stuff we have to talk to her about.
Oh, man.
Canada and the Nazi.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
The world just keeps getting stupider, Ken. And
they're not hiding it anymore, Vic.
Exactly. It's not covert anymore. Now
No.
it's overt. Now it's just right out in the open.
I don't want to go into the topic, but during the break, Vic actually said to me, this is a joke, right, about an article we're going to talk about. And I said, no, they actually want to do that. He goes, that's no way. I go, yeah, that's a fact right there.
And it's something that it's going to get your blood boiling, and you're going to want to do something about it. And maybe you should. All right, before we get to playing me some Biden, Ken, can we talk to Thomas?
Yeah.
Thomas, good morning. How are you?
Hey, Vic. Hey, it's, I told Ken, Google this. It's called the Rainbow Bridge. It's when you lose an animal and they're in heaven waiting for you, playing with other dogs, until all of a sudden you come across that Rainbow Bridge and you spend eternity together. That every dog you ever had, every cat, every animal you love is going to be with you in heaven.
You know what, Thomas?
Look it up.
My wife and I had this conversation yesterday. I know well about the Rainbow Bridge. I even put it in the I put it in my little thing for Sweeney on Facebook. I said, we'll meet you at the Rainbow Bridge. And my wife and I last night said to each other, when we get to that Rainbow Bridge, we're going to be like mauled by a farm. So many, the dogs we've had. I'm 65 years old. You know how many dogs I've had in my life? So, Thomas, thank you, man. I appreciate it. I appreciate your emotions. Bongino says it all the time. We just don't deserve dogs because they're just the greatest thing ever. And I appreciate you and your emotions, Thomas. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Vic.
All right, buddy.
Bye.
Our pets are like our little kids, man. It's
amazing.
We've got our kid. They're not the same, but they're
they're better behaved.
Yeah, and they're real close second.
They're real close second. All right, Kenny, are we ready?
No.
Oh,
actually not. I'm affected by this stuff.
I'm
when
sorry.
You talk about
I did not want to upset you.
You didn't upset me. It's
audience.
just it's a matter of just. It is what it is, Vic.
There was one piece of paper, Ken, in the room where you wait for the pimp to come in, and it had there are therapists for pet grief resolution or whatever the word is. So
it's real.
Maybe I need that. Are we ready?
Yeah.
Well, let's go play with somebody. Look out, Joe. Now they have a team of people to keep Joe from falling. Did you see that?
Yeah.
A special group of people to keep our leader, the leader of the free world, from falling down. My God, Ken, there are countries planning on invading us. I'm telling you right now.
Yeah, he is officially no longer taking the big stairs onto the plane either. Mm-hmm. He's officially just going into the back through the luggage area and through the press corps to get to his seat in front.
And still does not salute the Marines.
That, I can't even, that's beyond words for me.
It's still happening.
Yeah, it's worse now.
Yeah.
He'll look right at them, like he's saying, I'm not saluting you, and then turns and walks away.
Yeah. Yesterday, when he got off the plane in Michigan, he just walked down the stairs like they weren't even there. And these are guys who are supposed to say, oh, yeah, I love my president. All right. So, Kenny, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Let's do it. Play me some Biden.
And two of the great artists of our time representing the groundbreaking legacy of hip-hop in America, LL Cool J. By the way, that man's got biceps bigger than my thighs. Wow. I think he's...
Wow. Did he really call LL Cool J a boy?
Well, first he called him LL Cool J or something, LAJ. I don't know what it was.
This guy is so blatantly racist. He just gets right into it from his whole lifetime experience of being a racist.
Yeah.
Why would he say that? Why would he use that word?
It's an insensitive thing that he does not care about.
Now, Charlemagne the God, I'm not going to tell you I sit in here and listen and I know what his show's about, but they played a clip from him yesterday, and he was pretty much ripping Joe Biden a new one for that line.
Well, you shouldn't. Why do you say something like that?
Because he's so inherently racist. He comes from a generation where people just said what they say and never changed what they say, you know?
Yeah.
And I will guarantee you he uses the word that nobody's supposed to use, if you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Starts with an N.
And don't tell me, Democrats, libs, that Joe Biden either didn't mean it or he's over that.
Can't
He's
exactly.
beyond that. Because he's the one who actually corrected himself.
That's right.
If you correct yourself, you did something wrong.
You're absolutely right.
In your mind.
And he meant to say it because he's used that phrase his whole life, and he's just a terrible person. I mean, he's just a terrible person who tries to come off as a nice person, the nice grandpa guy. Let me see your kid. Let me smell your kid. Maybe I'll take a bite, you know?
Right.
But he's a terrible person. And I don't mind
yeah.
saying it. And I don't feel bad saying it because he's elderly and all that.
He's just a terrible person all the way around. Everything he has done in the last 50 years is just this. They talk about his parenting skills are horrible. Everything about him, just the whole situation when he first started with Jill, the whole thing, everything is just bad.
So his children, and he doesn't even know how to responsibly own a dog.
No.
His dog bit an 11th Secret Service agent. The dog has bit 11 Secret Service agents.
As any other American, your dog bites somebody once, they're put away.
You're right. And so here's what I'm going to do. Today when I get home, I'm going to make a little video with Phantom, okay?
Yeah, okay.
And I'm going to show you 3 things that you should do with your dog, you know, to see, A, if your dog is being abused at all, you know, B, how gentle he is, and how he takes a treat from you, you know, because there's an aggressive way to take a treat, and then there's a nice way to take a treat.
There's like almost like they reach for it,
Yeah,
and
wait till you see it.
Okay.
Wait till you see this video I'm going to make for Joe tomorrow, and we're going to address it to Joe, and we're going to say, here's what a dog should do. You are an irresponsible dog owner.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't know how we got there. All right, 22 next?
Yeah.
Okay, so Donald Trump will not be at the debate tonight because he's going to go visit the striking UAW workers. So this administration heard about that, and they said, you have to beat Trump to Michigan, or I don't know where Trump is going, which of the 3 cities, but you have to go to a UAW picket line before Trump does. And then he did, and what? What did he do? What did he prove? Right?
Nothing.
All right, so let's hear something from that. Play me some Biden.
You've heard me say it many times. Wall Street didn't build the country. The middle class built the country. Unions built the middle class. That's a fact. So let's keep going. You deserve what you've earned, and you've earned a hell of a lot more than you're getting paid now. Thank you very much.
So if you watched that and you missed it, or if you didn't watch it, I'd like you to go back and watch it and notice how there are some people on that picket line that want nothing to do with Joe Biden.
Yeah.
Because they're on strike. They may be losing money because of the EV rush to make EVs and put these people out of work.
And that's what they're going to do because EVs, they say, require much less labor to put them together.
And they know that. They know that.
Yeah. If I was in that line, I'd know that this man was using me as a pawn, a tool, whatever for his candidacy.
Also, if I were on that line, my sign, if I were carrying a sign, would say no EVs. Save our jobs, no EVs.
Yeah, why not?
That's what my sign would say.
That would have been great.
But nobody listens to me, do they?
No.
No, they don't.
Yeah, they do.
All right, we need to. Can you fire up the Wayback Machine for us to get us to this last one? Do we have time for this last one?
We got time.
Okay, let's fire up the Wayback Machine. Let's go back just a few years. Ken, set the dials to the year 2020.
Okay.
See where we are. All right, and here we are, back in the year 2020, courtesy of the Wayback Machine. Joe Biden. Ken, play me some Biden.
My son has not made money in terms of this thing about, what are you talking about? China.
This thing. What are you talking about? Boy, can't you just tell when somebody's lying?
Oh, yeah.
You know, this thing, what are you talking about? China?
This thing you say that there's land there, it's called China?
like it's a new concept.
Right.
Like the country of China just popped up out of nowhere, and that wall of China was built yesterday, and they just turned communist yesterday,
My son has not made money in terms of this thing about, what are you talking about? China.
Oh, my God.
That thing, what is it?
It's so bad. Ken, can you get us back to the present? Get us back to 2023. I can't take anymore. I am done. And that's all the time we have for Play Me Some Biden on 101.9 and 94.1 News Talk STL. Look out, Joe. Look out. Put on your sneakers or whatever they got. They got him wearing like sneakers now so he doesn't slip or whatever.
Yeah. When are they going to put those robot legs on him?
When are they just going to use a robot, period?
Well, yeah.
Or are they using an AI?
Hey, who knows?
All right. Done. Let's go to break. When we come back, you are going to lose your mind over the rights that Democrats don't want you to have. You're gonna think you're listening to something in the Communist Party of China. That's what you're going to be thinking. And that's next on 101.9 and 94.1 News Talk STL. Welcome home.
Stream The Vic Porcelli Show at News Talk STL. The Vic Porcelli Show.
Now, even as we evolve our institutions and drive creative new partnerships, let me be clear. Certain principles of our international system are sacrosanct.
Made in St. Louis for St. Louis. It's News Talk STL. Tim Jones and Chris Arps in the afternoon.
It's Wednesday. Zena Hackworth joins me in the studio, and at 4:25 we'll speak with Beavis Schock, the man who got rid of red light cameras in St. Louis.
Tim Jones and Chris Arps. Weekdays at 4 on News Talk STL.
BTO is back. Bachman Turner Overdrive. Back in Overdrive Tour. October 19th at the Family Arena. BTO Live with Mark Farner's American Band. Reserved seats on sale now at the Carroll House Furniture box office at the Family Arena or Ticketmaster. Don't miss the return of BTO in concert.
John Michael Montgomery. Live. The multiple Grammy, CMA, and ACM award winner. John Michael Montgomery with McBride and the Ride. Friday, October 20th at the Family Arena. Reserved seats are on sale now at the Carroll House box office located at the Family Arena or Ticketmaster. John Michael Montgomery, live in concert.
When veterans return to civilian life, they deserve your recognition and support. You can help put vets to work by donating your car, truck, or van to Patriotic Hearts. Your donation will directly support programs to help vets find jobs or even start their own business. Donate today for fast, free pickup of your vehicle, running or not. Call 800-209-3485. 800-209-3485. 800-209-3485.
Sponsored by Patriotic Hearts.
Consumer Cellular's award-winning customer support is 100% based in the U.S., and you are 100% based in the U.S. That's something you have in common with Consumer Cellular's customer service. Consumer Cellular's customer service likes pizza, and you like pizza. You want a free month of service, and we want to give you one. We obviously can't wait to hear from you. Visit consumercellular.com/free month and enter code FREEMONTH to get your second month free. Consumer Cellular. When freedom calls, we're here to answer. Promotion is subject to terms and conditions.
Whether at home or at work, you're mobile. So when you're mobile, stay mobile. Keep St. Louis's home for conservative talk with you wherever you go. Download the News Talk STL app in the App Store or at newstalkstl.com. This hour, the Vic Porcelli Show, brought to you by Connor Roofing. You can count on Connor for all your roofing needs. Visit ConnorRoofing.com. That's CONNER Roofing.com. Talk lines are open now at 314-912-1019. You're listening to the Missouri Broadcasters Association Air Talent of the Year. This is the Vic Porcelli Show.
Good morning. Welcome home. It's 101.9, 94.1 News Talk STL. You know what, Ken?
What, Vic?
I just thought of something.
Yeah.
And I hope because today was supposed to be dressed like John Fetterman Day. Did we cancel that?
Well, I had all my gear.
Okay.
I was ready today.
I completely forgot about it till the second.
But I think we need to make it more formal, like an announcement. Hey, it's going to be John Fetterman Day on this date.
I think Friday is the perfect
I
day.
think it'd be a perfect day.
All right, we'll put our heads together with Tony and everybody here, and we'll have everybody dressed like John.
Yeah, I mean, it's Joe's idea. I think he should be a big part of this.
I think Joe should be the first one. He's
Joe
as tall as Fetterman.
Joe could be perfect for him.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Get him a little fake mustache.
Yes.
Oh, my God. It's going to be great. We'll do a team picture and everything. Okay. Sorry. Mark Carter, the vice chair of the St. Louis County Council, joins us today. And Mark Carter, there's another segment on our show that really started out as fun with Mark, because he's a good guy and everything. Now it's becoming something that enrages me every time we talk to him about the decisions that are being made there at the county council.
It's important.
It is important.
The information that he brings in.
Oh, absolutely. Did you bring your trumpets we have to play when he comes?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I got them.
Do we want to
They're
get
warming
this
up, actually.
other
right now.
thing or
Not right now.
Okay. So Tim Jones at 10:05. And right now, let's welcome back to the show one of our absolutely favorite guests. Who hates us? Let's take that number one call there and see what's up with that. Oh, I guess not. Okay. So, podcasts. There you go. It just popped into my head. So we have these podcasts that you can go anytime you'd like and listen to our show or watch our show. I suggest watching the show. I mean, why would you not want to watch two devastatingly handsome guys here, right, for 2 hours every morning? If we ever find two devastatingly handsome guys, we'll put them on in between 9 and 11. But for now, you got Kenny and me. And, just if you heard about something, hey, what did Vic and Ken talk about? Go to the podcast. You can get us on Rumble to watch, I'm talking about. Rumble, Facebook, YouTube. How about that? And also on our Twitter pages, Ken's page, my page, anywhere podcasts are found, which means the Spotify and I don't know. You want to know the truth? I don't listen to a lot of podcasts. I know a lot of people do. I know Tony Colombo is absolutely addicted to podcasts. But, if you want to watch ours, just go get them. Yeah. Okay. Are we ready?
Yes.
From Project 21 and the National Center for Public Policy Research, I didn't want her to miss me saying, well, our favorite guest to have on the show, Donna Jackson. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. It's always a pleasure to be on this show with you.
Oh, we love you. Can you welcome Donna to the show?
Hey, how you doing?
How you doing, Donna Jackson? So listen, we were brought together today to talk about this, I believe. So as a black woman, conservative or not, right?
Right.
And the president calls one of the, I would call LL Cool J one of the most legendary rappers of all time, wouldn't you, Ken?
Sure, one of them, yeah.
And Joe calls him boy. I mean, when you saw that, what went through your head?
What went through my head is this is typical. I mean, he's always degrading to black people. The problem that I really have is the fact that too many African Americans put up with it. Yep. I've always said this. Elite white liberals are the most racist people to African Americans. Always have been.
Malcolm X said that.
Yeah, and they get away with it because they get the vote. And I think that what conservatives need to do is be more aggressive in going into these communities and letting them know that, you know what, our values line up with you and not these individuals who actually are causing you the problem, and then they come in and claim they're problem.
When that comes out of his mouth so easily, Donna, when are people going to say enough is enough of this guy? He's not for black Americans. Donald Trump certainly was, but when is black America going to wake up and say we got to get rid of this guy?
I mean, I can't tell you who people are voting for, but I can tell you that there's a lot of unrest in African American communities, dissatisfaction with the policies that are happening, that are causing more poverty, that are causing their communities to be, I'm going to use the word, invaded by illegal immigrants. There's protests going all over, and I think that people's eyes are opening, that the policies that the left is putting through is actually causing them the harm. And so I think you'll see that reflected actually going forward and who they align with.
I hope you're right, because I know I'm biased. I know that I think Donald Trump was a great president, and am I wrong when I say that Donald Trump, did plenty for Black America, like getting the unemployment rate for blacks as low as it's ever been since they started making those numbers? Am I biased, or would he be a better president for Black America than Joe Biden?
Well, like I said, I can't say who will be a better president, but I will say the policies. Under Donald Trump, we had record low unemployment for youth. We had record starts for entrepreneurship. We had record home ownership. We had historically high funding for historically Black colleges. In fact, if you don't know it, it went from $300 million under Donald Trump to $5 million under Joe Biden. So we had the opportunity zones. We had prison reform. We had so many benefits that actually helped economically the community, not government subsidies, which for some reason the left thinks that the only way that African Americans should live, government handouts, attached to those government handouts is a ceiling that prevents you from moving out of poverty into the middle class. That's the biggest problem that we have. So it's economic policy. You know what? I can care less what someone says about me. What I care about is my family going to be stronger and more financially secure with the policies you put forth? And I can say that the policies that conservatives offer, yes. I can say with the policies that the left put forth, no, because all of them are designed to keep me in a permanent state of government dependency in a lower class position where I can never take care of myself.
Aren't you glad, Donna, that you're not somebody who has to defend Joe Biden like some of the people on the left so transparently lie about how good of a job he's doing? Aren't you glad you're not in that position?
I'm glad that I have the freedom to speak the truth. Mm-hmm. And I don't think that a lot of people on the left have that opportunity. That's what makes this country great. And it's unfortunate that there's too many people that don't take that opportunity to realize that the purpose of our government is so that we can pursue our own happiness. We can decide that. I don't have to decide to do the same thing that my neighbor or the person next to me decides. Yeah. But I have the equal opportunity to decide what happiness should look like to me instead of somebody dictating what my happiness should look like. And that is the problem with policies on the left.
You're right. Okay, so let's talk about this legal brief in the United States Supreme Court against racist admissions practices at an elite Northern Virginia STEM school. Help me, and pardon my ignorance, but what is a STEM school? It's science, technology, engineering, and math. Oh, that's STEM.
So the crux of it is that they're preparing students.
I'm sorry, Donna. It's what my daughter Abby is going to Missouri S&T for.
There you go. All right. So now I know. So what's going on with this lawsuit?
Well, so again, this notion of equity and this notion that elite white liberals know what's the best ethnic and racial mix for the world, they decided to instead of having merit-based admissions, they should have race-based admissions. So basically what you do is if you check a certain box, then that's how they're going to determine who gets admitted and who doesn't. Here's the thing, and I like to use a basketball analogy, mm-hmm. Okay? Michael Jordan is the greatest player that the world of basketball had ever had.
Yep.
But Michael Jordan got cut from his high school because he wasn't good enough. It did not make Michael Jordan stop playing basketball. What it did is make him put in more effort to be able to hit the shot, to be able to groom his game in order for him to make the team, and that's what made him the greatest basketball player. What they're saying is, no. This is too hard for minorities if we're going to put pressure on them to be able to meet the standards needed for a mission. So we need to do, again, these carve-outs. Well, guess what? It's not white students that are getting bumped from the missions. It's Asian students. So what you're saying is underrepresented minorities are the ones that we need to make a position for. So we're going to bump another minority.
Right.
I mean, most Asians that come to this country come because of a poverty in their own or oppression in their own country.
That's right.
So they have the same issue that other races have.
Yep.
But they see education as freedom and an opportunity.
Now,
and that's what we need to start doing for everyone.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you there.
No, sorry.
So didn't the Supreme Court already rule on this with that whole Harvard admissions thing?
It did, but of course, they always try to find a workaround. So now they're doing it in the high school, so you still get the same outcome.
Oh, I
That's
see.
the
That was a
problem,
college thing.
though.
This is a high school thing.
Yes, this is
I got
high
it, okay.
school. That was college, and it's preparing you. And actually, when you leave out of this school, it's always been an automatic pipeline to a university, especially the elite Ivy League. So that's why they're doing the workaround, and they'll probably do it through middle school. The real problem is that you have a union who ill prepares and would rather put money into LGBTQ genderqueer theory studies than actually teaching math and reading at the middle school and high school level.
Yeah.
So they ill prepare students who can't get into can't perform at the level they need to, and then they do a carve out. And the truth of the matter is, most of the time, what you have is people who end up failing because they weren't prepared. And I can tell you for a fact, Fairfax County is actually doing that. They actually bus all the minority black students to one school, even if it's not in their district. So then they underfund all of the programs. They're not trying to prepare anyone to be competitive.
Right.
They're purposely making sure they're not.
All right. As we wrap this up, Donna, I just want to put a shout out there for Julius Erving, Dr. J. I mean, I know Michael Jordan had his thing in all the championships, but I was team Dr. J all the way growing up.
But he still put in the work.
Oh, no, absolutely, yeah. I just didn't know if we were going to have a Michael Jackson versus Julius Erving fight, you and me, or what.
Michael Jordan.
Sorry, Michael Jordan.
He sure did. And he still put in the work, and that's the point.
You want to see a great
Putting
documentary?
in hard work isn't a problem.
Yep, great documentary you can watch. In Harlem, they had at Rucker Park, they had a Rucker tournament, Rucker League, and Julius Erving played in this. And I mean, kids would be lined up on balconies of buildings just to see him play.
Oh, wow.
He was he was my generation, and I just absolutely love him. Right. So, Donna, all the stuff we're talking about here, Supreme Court and stuff, find it at thenationalcenter.org. Is that right?
Absolutely. And listen, you never subvert the good of the group over the individual.
Exactly right.
So.
Donna, always a pleasure. Come back and talk soon, okay?
Okay, absolutely.
Right.
Thank you so much for having me.
You bet.
Bye, Donna.
She's such a happy, bubbly lady, isn't
Love
she?
it, man. Love
God,
it.
I love her to death.
And
Donna
full of,
Jackson.
and she's a flamethrower too. When she
Oh,
needs to be,
absolutely. She doesn't mess around at all. All right, Mark Carter, 1041. Next, speaker Tim Jones from the Tim Jones and Chris Arps Show joins us at 10:05. Let's take a little bit out for news, about 5 minutes or so from townhall.com, and then we're back for another hour on 101.9 and 94.1 News Talk STL. Welcome home.
Whoosh.
This is the perfect time to upgrade your home. Mike Ferguson here from my friends at Window World. Their number is 314-993-1800. Improve your home with Window World's double-strength glass windows. Those come with a lifetime warranty that covers all parts, glass breakage, and labor. 314-993-1800. Get a free in-home estimate. Window World is the preferred window of the St. Louis Blues.
314-993-1800 or windowworld.com.
Picture this, a room filled with fellow Republicans, all with one question. What could the future of St. Louis City look like under the leadership of Bill Eigel as governor?
Hi, this is Mary Teresa McClain with the Republican Party, City of St. Louis. It's more than a meeting. It's an invitation to hear Senator Bill Eigel talk about the future of our city.
Join us on Thursday, October 5th. Doors open at 6:30 p.m. Visit stlouisrepublicans.com for more details.
Paid for by St. Louis City Republican PAC. Curtis Farber, Treasurer.
In times of economic uncertainty and chaos, your money means nothing. You may not even be able to get it from your bank or ATM. And the money you do have in the stock market will go down and down. What you can bank on is gold and silver. Gold and silver have been a reliable and trusted form of currency for thousands of years. Gold and silver have never been worth zero, and typically gold holds its value during economic turmoil. Call the Gold Hotline now and learn how to protect your money and your assets with gold and silver. And learn how to set up a new IRA or roll over your current one into a gold-backed IRA. Protect your money from the next market crash with gold and silver. Call now for your free gold guide.
800-281-4224. 800-281-4224. 800-281-4224. That's 800-281-4224.
KLGY HD3 Clayton, K270BW Bellefontaine, KNBS Bowling Green. This is News Talk STL at 1019, 94.1, and always streaming at NewstalkSTL.com.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. Tonight's the night. The Ronald Reagan Presidential Library is the place. The latest Republican presidential primary debate in Simi Valley, California. And that's where we find White House correspondent Greg Clugston.
The 7 candidates who will debate this evening are hoping to break out of the pack. So far in this primary election season, Donald Trump holds a commanding lead over all of his rivals. With Trump skipping tonight's debate, White House hopefuls are once again looking for an opening and hoping to deliver a performance that will move them up in the polls. Greg Clugston, Simi Valley, California.
Shortly after North Korea announced it would expel Travis King, the U.S. Army private has reportedly been handed over to American officials in China. King crossed into North Korea from the south in July. He had faced military discipline in the States at the time he fled north across the heavily fortified DMZ. Former President Trump visits Detroit today as the auto workers' strike is in its 13th day. President Biden met with and spoke briefly to striking auto workers in Wayne, Michigan yesterday. Claiming to be a pro-union president, critics accuse Mr. Biden of sowing the seeds of the UAW's demise by pushing electric vehicles, which require fewer workers to build. And Heritage Foundation economist E.J. Antoni says Bidenomics helped to fuel the auto workers' strike in the first place.
And inflation has made consumers and workers about 17% poorer in terms of how fast prices have gone up under Biden, but prices for businesses have gone up even faster.
It was pandemonium last night in Philadelphia, mobs going on a rioting and looting spree. Citing theft and violence, retailer Target is closing 9 of its stores across 4 states. On Wall Street, the Dow down 80 points. The Nasdaq is off 2 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Donald Trump's indictment proves that saving America is not going to be easy. There are entrenched powers that are fighting this with everything they've got. They want to keep control over the country, the narrative, and the nation's money supply. Hi, I'm Lance Wallnau. I'm a news analyst, a Christian author, and evangelical leader. I speak to millions of people every week, people just like you. You see, what the elites are doing is using inflation and government handouts and now central bank digital currencies to determine how they're going to control America. And that's why I recommend all Christians start a gold IRA from the Birch Gold Group, because physical precious metals are one of the few ways you can maintain control over your own savings. To get a free info kit on gold IRAs, text the word faith to 989898. Birch Gold Group is the only gold company I trust. Get their free info kit and you'll see why a gold IRA can help you. There are no strings attached. Text the word faith to 989898 and you're going to be blessed by taking action right now.
Azerbaijan.
This hour of News Talk STL is brought to you by Stifel, serving investors for over 130 years. Contact your Stifel financial advisor at stifel.com. That's STIFEL.com. From the Michaels Flooring Outlet Weather Center.
After scattered storms with a lot of lightning and some heavy downpours for the morning commute, rain chances drop off pretty quickly. Just a slight chance of a shower or storm this afternoon and this evening. Most of that's east and south of St. Louis. Otherwise, becoming partly cloudy this afternoon, high in the low 80s. Tonight, dry, partly cloudy, down to about 64. And then it's all about a warming trend. Mid-80s Thursday, but upper 80s to near 90 from Friday through the weekend. That's your First Alert forecast. I'm meteorologist Matt Chambers.
Vic Porcelli.
Come on, you're Italian. You understand.
Every day is a busy day all of a sudden.
You talking to me? You talking to me?
Tough and smart, and I love Italian, so he's definitely Italian.
At least I have this show to come and talk about it and let some stuff up.
What kind of a show are you guys putting on here today?
The Vic Porcelli Show.
All right. Welcome home and welcome back. Hour number 2. On 101.9 and 94.1 News Talk STL. I'm Vic Porcelli. That guy over there, that good-looking guy, he's Ken Williams. What's up, Ken?
Thanks, Vic.
Yeah,
How are you?
I'm good. Hanging in.
Everything okay? You you getting back in the swing of things after an hour?
I got to tell you. I mean, who doesn't enjoy a day off,
Oh, yeah.
But it never fails. When I'm not here, something happens I want to talk about. And I can't because I'm not here.
Right.
It's a
weird,
yeah. The addiction when you do what we do. I mean, I didn't stop watching the news or finding out what's going on while I was gone. You know what I mean?
Well, a perfect example, I made the mistake of looking at my phone while I was up in Michigan on the streets eating ice cream in South
Supposed
Haven.
to be
just
enjoying your family and yourself.
Families all around me. And I looked down. That was the first mistake right there. I looked down and I see Biden doing something about the border or not doing something about the border, basically.
Yeah.
And I wanted to, I'll be right back. But I didn't.
I'll be right back.
But I did actually listen to the show for a second to see
Yeah.
what you guys were doing.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
You're not allowed to take vacation anymore, by the way. Did I mention that? I'm putting that in my contract.
Oh,
for next
okay.
year. Yeah.
No problem.
So, the second Republican debate is tonight. So here's what we're going to do. You watch the debate where you are. Tony, Katie, and I will watch it where we are. And then we'll have immediate reaction and analysis of everything that happens on that debate stage. 7 participants in the debate tonight. Tim Scott will be there. He wasn't at the first debate. And I didn't realize that where they are on stage depends upon their poll numbers.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that.
Okay.
Because I'm stupid. DeSantis is right in the middle. And then Ramaswamy. But the point I want to make is Mike Pence is way over on the side.
Right.
Because he's got no numbers. So that's tonight, immediately following the second Republican presidential debate on all of our News Talk STL social media platforms. That includes Rumble, Facebook, Twitter, and the brand new News Talk STL YouTube channel, which I would like to say I have not gotten us thrown off of yet.
That's right. You're not the one yet.
Yet.
We all say yet.
I don't want to be the one, though. You know what I mean? I mean, it's
and we don't want to get thrown off, but it's inevitable, probably.
It's a double-edged sword. You don't want to get thrown off, but you don't want to change what you do.
And we don't.
What kind of credibility would we have if we change what we do?
Yeah.
Not doing that.
No, and it's America Decides 2024 tonight. And Vic, you, Katie, and Tony, you guys deliver a really fun show. And it was really interesting last time. I'm glad that Donald Trump's not doing this debate for a couple of reasons. First of all, you always hear everybody talk about, and I mean both sides, they say, well, he's leading so far in the polls, why should he even debate? And they both have said it until, of course, Donald Trump is leading. And then they say, well, he's weak. He's scared. He's scared to death of me. And that's what Chris Christie's that's his whole platform. Donald Trump is afraid of him. That's what he's running on.
He makes me ashamed to say I'm from New Jersey. I swear to God. He's so bad.
But the show we put on tonight, I think it's just really good what you guys do. It's really fun.
Yeah, it's going to be fun for sure. And that's happening tonight. The debate is from 8 to 10, and then Tony and Katie and I will give you our thoughts. And what's cool about this, too, is we're doing it from our homes. Well, I'm just going to be sitting on the couch.
Yeah.
Have the camera on, I hope. I hope everything works. I think it's a camera thing. Yeah, it's got to be a camera thing, right?
Oh, really? So
what is that supposed to mean?
Well, you can't be in your underwear.
Really?
Well,
They're putting your ugly face on?
No, you're on every day. But I'm telling you, usually it'd be fun to be just like, in your natural setting. You're just sitting there eating, having fun, not having to dress up at all.
Oh, I'm not dressing up.
Oh, okay.
I could be in my undies for all I know. 'Cause
Uh-oh.
I hang out in my undies a lot at home. That was more information than you needed. Let's go. You all ready?
Former Speaker of the House.
You just proved why you left-wing loons are so insane.
Y'all ready for this?
Tim Jones.
Former Speaker of the House, Tim Jones. Good morning, Mr.
Hey, man.
Speaker. How are you, baby?
I'm great. Greatest intro in radio history, all thanks to the best producer on the planet.
Oh, my God. By far.
man.
By far. All right. So, a couple of things I want to talk to you about. How the left, they've gone over the cliff this time, Tim, talking about our First Amendment freedom of speech rights. We apparently don't deserve any of them.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Vic, before I answer that question, and I will, I wanted to let you know that I am not in St. Louis today. I'm in beautiful Savannah, Georgia, with our good friend Grover Norquist of Americans for Tax Reform. And I was thinking about you because Savannah, Vic, of course, is famous for some very famous movies. And I know you're a big movie guy, and you probably know off the top of your head the two biggest, most famous movies that were like based here or filmed here or about here, right?
I guess not.
Well, I'll give you a hint.
Okay.
So in the one movie, there's a famous bench that the main character sits on
Forrest Gump?
quite a bit throughout the movie. Yep, Forrest Gump.
Yeah.
And then the other one had a cast of thousands, John Cusack, Kevin Spacey, based on the famous novel Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil.
Oh, don't think I ever saw that one.
I saw that one. Yeah, that's a great movie.
I did see Forrest Gump, though. That's all I have to say about that. But oddly enough, Tim, last night I watched a documentary because I had to get my mind off of everything that was going on in my life yesterday. We had to put one of our dogs down yesterday, and I needed distractions. So I watched this documentary on the behind the scenes making of Forrest Gump, and the ping pong scene when he's going against the ping.
Yeah,
they're not really hitting anything; they're just swinging their arms, and then they CGI the ping pong ball.
Perfect, man. That's great.
And they got and they got the world's best ping pong player to be on the other side of Tom Hanks. And he's a great ping pong player when there's a ball there. You know what I mean? When there's not a ball. So they put a metronome. And every time they heard the click, they swung their rackets. And then they CGI'd the ball in later.
That's
Isn't that
cool.
Fantastic.
I love that stuff.
You know what's great about that movie, Vic and Ken? It reminds, I think, the audience of Americana, right? The greatness of America. There's so many great moments in that movie. And, it largely celebrates some of the greatest moments in American history. It's like when you watch that movie, and it's a sad movie, right? It's got some sad, very, very melancholy, somber parts to it, but it's a good story. But interwoven throughout that story, of course, is the main character and his brushes and his reactions, and sometimes his actions causing some of the greatest moments in American history, right? It's a celebration. It's very much an American movie about the greatness of America. And you're like, doesn't Hollywood understand that sells? People don't want to go see crap that's all about how horrible the country is and the people here. And, back to your question about the First Amendment, guys, they are literally, it's not a joke. It's not a joke anymore. It's not us sitting around with our tinfoil hats inventing conspiracy theories. It's reality. The reality is there is a major, and I unfortunately think it's a majority. There is a majority of one of our two major political parties, and I say that to kind of drive the point home. This isn't like some random faction or a bunch of leftist goofballs. It's a majority of one of the two political parties that doesn't want to live in this United States of America anymore, this United States of America of the past 235 years, that with all of its warts and all of its failings and foibles is still the greatest country on the planet, right?
Yeah.
So many immigrants, I've heard so many immigrants over the years that I'm friends with, legal immigrants who have come here and gone through the process, say, we came here because of all of that, there's nowhere else to go. If this place fails, there's no other America out there or anything like it. And so by tearing down institutions and basic rights, actual real rights, not the fake made-up rights that the left makes up these days, but the actual rights in the actual foundational documents, the First Amendment, the free speech and assembly, and freedom. It's freedom of religion. I always have to remind my lunatic leftist friends, it's not from religion, it's of religion, whatever religion you might want to be. The state is not supposed to promote any particular religion, but it's also not supposed to prevent. It's not supposed to prevent other people from promoting whatever religion they want. So when they go after these foundational principles, don't you have to ask the question, what the hell are you doing in this country then anymore? Because you don't want this country. You want to destroy this country. You want to create some fake never that will be realized socialist utopia that won't work, because a lot of people smarter than you all, diabolically smart, heinously smart, evilly smart, they've tried this, and it's always a failure. Socialism leads to communism. Communism leads to oppression and death.
Wow. You have leftist friends?
Well,
I'm kidding. But here's the thing. The left, now all of a sudden the Constitution doesn't matter. The Declaration of Independence doesn't matter, because there's no humility for us to say these founding fathers were smarter than we are, and they knew how to build a country, but they think they're smarter. They think they're smarter than the founding fathers, than the framers.
Yeah, and so the easiest way for them to get around that, as you guys know, is to just be pejorative about things, right? And their favorite pejorative is, well, we'll just call it racist.
Right.
The founding fathers were racist. The founding mothers were racist. The Declaration of Independence is racist. The Constitution's racist. Property rights are racist. Washing your hands before you eat a meal, that's now racist. Basic common structures of society. I heard somebody the other day say this. They're like, it's not racist. It's civilization. It's civilized. Being civilized, having law and order is not racist. That's called a construct of a civil society. If all of that is racist, then okay, let's see who else had. So the ancient Egyptians were racist. The Romans and the Greeks were racist. What was the ancient society that the movie 300 was based on? The Spartans.
Yeah.
The Spartans were racist. So all the great civilizations of humanity that go back thousands of years, who wanted to have basic laws, constructs, mores, and morals, they're all racist. Well, no, they're not. It's called being a human being, and it's called being a humanitarian. But see, they don't want that, because they have to. They need division. They need, in order to get to their goal of destroying the greatest country on the planet, the most free country on the planet, the most prosperous country on the planet, they have to make it evil, right? They have to make it. And so what they do is they drive wedges between people who otherwise would never have wedges between them. They're the ones causing all of the strife and the anger and the divisiveness. Like what you guys always say, every accusation by them is actually a self-confession, right? It's projectionism. Everything they say the opposite is true. All of these things, they're the ones causing this. What do we on the right want? We want to live in freedom. We want to live in peace, and we want to live in prosperity. And they want to destroy and tear down everything that you just asked me about, so they can create, once again, some imaginary socialist utopia that has never existed on the planet Earth and will never exist, because it is a factual impossibility.
Anything they say, I know, is complete opposite.
Thank you, Jim Brewer. All right, so you want to say anything? You just wanted to play that?
I just want to mention
Okay.
something.
Oh.
No, it's okay.
Okay. So I want to read you some results of a very scary poll, Tim. First of all, before I say that, Marjorie Taylor Greene, everybody thinks she's a crazy loony bird, right, with her national divorce thing. But when I read you these, tell me that breaking away from this kind of thought and ideology isn't the way to go. A poll was conducted. 34% of Democrats say Americans have too much freedom. 47% of Democrats say free speech should be legal only under certain circumstances. And wait, 75% of Democrats say government has a responsibility to censor hateful talk. Wow. What do you think?
Yep, and
It's
because
amazing.
of those positions on all of those very important public policy issues, it's why another point that you both make is so valid and is so important to keep in mind as we now enter the final marathon stretch of election 2024. We should take nothing for granted, and I think many of us, myself included, we got a little too excited with the midterms because you look at some of this polling that shows the dissatisfaction of the country going in the wrong direction, people's views on the economy, people's views on the rotting bag of oatmeal in the White House, and on down the line. And you think to yourself, okay, it's so bad, so therefore people will be so smart that they will not vote for that anymore. Unfortunately, we have an electorate that is so brainwashed, not the people who listen to this show, right? Not News Talk STL Nation, but we have a giant faction of the electorate that is so brainwashed by the bombardment that comes from the corrupt, I can't say, I want to cuss on this radio show, I really do.
Don't you cuss on this here radio.
Don't you cuss on this here radio.
The corrupt corporate media
Yeah.
that feeds us all this every day. And, look, I understand people are also busy, right? They're not like us where we get the luxury of drinking from the fire hose of all this stuff every day. And so when you look at what's happened over the last 2 years, do you guys realize, I think Bongino was talking about this the other day on our station, of course. He was talking about the fact that in the last 4 to 5 special elections around the country, Republicans have lost. And we've also lost a couple of these important referendums in these states because guess what, guys? Fear sells. Fear-mongering is all the left has. And so they are going to ride this god-awful, horrific, unholy abortion horse into the ground because they know that it enrages and inspires a group of people to go to the polls. It's all based on a lie, right? Nobody's taking away anyone's. If you want to seek out an abortion, and I hope you don't, but if you do, there's plenty of states in this union that will allow that. But the left has convinced everyone that, and they couch it. They say abortion, but then they talk about, women's health care and reproductive justice, whatever the hell that is.
Yeah, right.
They add the word justice to anything or equity, and they think it sounds great. So, a lot of people are bamboozled by that, and they believe it. And fear is the most powerful motivator out there. And so, like you two always preach, there is nothing that we should take for granted in heading into 2024. As bad as people's views are on the economy, as bad as people's views are on Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, as bad as people's views on certain things, the Republicans are not doing a good enough job in selling the alternative. And why they won't focus on certain issues and instead simply do nothing, all thanks to the uniparty in Washington, D.C. is beyond me. It's like it's like the election victories are sitting out there in front of them. They don't want to take the silver platter. But so long story short, here in Missouri, we'll do our part. But if you have friends, family, colleagues, coworkers in any of these battleground states, we are going to have to basically just run the table. I think it's possible. But number one, we got to get our voters out. You have to vote.
Yep.
What? You don't like the electoral systems? You're mad you're going to stay home. What's that going to accomplish? You're going to have your country go down the drain faster. So you have to go vote. You have to vote in droves. And secondly, you have to convince other people to do that as well. You have to inspire people to want to save this nation because it literally is going down the tubes. People say, the next election is the most important. The last election was one of the most important, and we largely failed on it. And this country in certain parts has become a police state. It has become an autocratic totalitarian society. We don't see it as much here in Missouri, but if you go to some of these big, deep blue red states or some of these big blue cities, we see it in St. Louis, we see it in Kansas City, we see it in California, New York, and other places. And we've become an extremely polarized country. We can't have half the country, even though we can say, we're fine, we live in a red state. We can't have half the country continue to fail because eventually the entire country is going to continue to fail. And like I was talking about illegal immigrants that I know and love oh so well, they've warned us there's nowhere to go beyond here.
You know what, Tim? Not to break our arms, patting ourselves on the back, but Ken and I warned everyone about that 2022 election.
Yeah.
We did. All right, Tim, I can't tell you how grateful we are to have you every Wednesday now. And the fact that you're always listening, I got to tell you, I never thought in a million years that I'd be doing a radio show and the former Speaker of the House would listen to religiously. I never thought that would happen. So thank you for that, and thank you for your thoughts, and we'll talk next week, sir.
Guys, you're awesome. Continue to have a great show. Talk to you soon.
That is Speaker Tim
Thanks,
Jones. Tim. I guess he won't be on with Chris today. He's hanging out with Grover Norquist. These guys all hang out with all these guys.
Yeah, and far away.
Hogan Gidley, right?
Yeah.
Big friend of Chris Arps. And Grover Norquist hanging out with...
And by the way, we listen faithfully to their shows as well.
Absolutely.
Because they're good.
Absolutely.
It has nothing to do with, incestuous type of behavior. It's just we are fans of their shows.
Not for nothing.
Katie and Columbo and all of them.
Great radio station we got going
that's
here.
right.
All right. Mark Carter's going to join us at 10:41 today. I'll try not to cuss on this here radio, okay?
All right.
With what's going on with the St. Louis County Council. Coming up next, what will Donald Trump do when he gets back into the White House? That's what I want to know.
Yeah.
That's next on 101.9, 94.1. News Talk STL. Welcome home. And whoosh, my brothers and sisters.
Like us on Facebook at News Talk STL. You're listening to the Vic Porcelli Show.
My son has not made money in terms of this thing about, what are you talking about, China.
Made in St. Louis for St. Louis. It's News Talk STL.
Getting a new floor for your home can be intimidating and a little scary. But that's not the case when you go to Michael's Flooring Outlet. Katie here, and my mom and dad used Michael's, and they had a great experience. They've been a locally owned and operated family business for more than 30 years. You want variety? Michael's has carpet, hardwood, laminate, ceramic tile, luxury vinyl, natural stone, and many other options. Shop in-store at one of their 3 locations in Creve Coeur, Dardine Prairie, or St. Peters. Check out everything that Michael's has to offer at igotfloored.com.
Hey, Columbo here, reminding you that cybersecurity has never been more important, so you need to ask yourself, is your business prepared for a possible ransomware attack? And if you have any doubt, you need to call the team at ThrottleNet today. ThrottleNet provides world-class managed IT services and IT support to many local organizations, including my family's own small business. They're St. Louis's highest rated and most reviewed outsourced IT company, and there's many different ways ThrottleNet can help with your business's operation and digital protection. Learn more now at throttlenet.com.
Get involved and make a difference. Be part of this year's St. Louis County Lincoln Reagan Day dinner featuring former Trump Deputy Press Secretary Hogan Gidley. Plus, special MC for the night, News Talk STL's own Chris Arps. Have dinner, support the St. Louis County RNC, and hear Hogan Gidley Saturday night, September 30th in the River City Casino Ballroom. For more information, visit stlcorepublicans.org. That's stlcorepublicans.org.
Paid for by the Republican Central Committee of St. Louis County. Kevin Turner, Treasurer. Not authorized by any candidate or candidate committee.
So here's a scenario. Saturday morning, you're having coffee, reading the paper, doorbell rings, and who's at the door? Why, it's Goober at the door. I said, hey, you want a new roof done? Don't go with Goober, go with Rufus.
For your new roof.
Love that. Tell us a little bit about Rufus. He's a good-looking guy.
Rufus is a good-looking guy. He came to us, the idea from a beloved pet that we had, and we thought we needed a good mascot, and Rufus was born.
Call Connor Roofing, 314-375-7475, or ConnorRoofing.com. That's CONNER roofing.com.
I'm Susie Moore, and this is More to the Point. I've always been a big Peanuts fan, and while I dug Schroeder's piano skills, appreciated Linus's insights, and empathized with Charlie Brown's travails, Snoopy, of course, was my favorite. He was great just as Snoopy, but his alter egos were fun, too. Loved to miss the World War I flying ace, and Joe Cool, well, he defined the word. A stunning contrast to another Joe we all know and know. That Joe, in all fairness, has a tough row to hoe. He's battling Father Time and the Peter Principle while trying to run a country, or appear as though he is, one beset with crime and inflation, decay and unchecked immigration, ratcheting tensions and shrinking pensions. He's got a mess on his hands, a fair amount of it his own creation, and I don't just mean Hunter, but that's a whole other issue. But Joe sought the job and purports to be seeking it again, though how he and his team expect to sell 80 and rapidly declining with seriously underwater approval ratings, one has to wonder. They've tried to repackage him as Dark Brandon, which is laughable. They've reverted to pushing him as Joe Cool with his aviator shades and white toothy grin, but unlike a certain beloved beagle, this Joe's alter egos just don't fly.
Susie Moore is Deputy Managing Editor for RedState.com. For more to the point and everything Susie Moore, log on to RedState.com. Follow Susie on Twitter at SmoozyQ and keep listening to 1019 and 94.1 News Talk STL. Columbo and Katie.
Wednesday is debate day across the country. We'll preview and make some predictions about the presidential debate when we talk to Rodney Boyd at 2:20. Then we'll have some fun and open up Closest Cabinet at 3:05.
Weekdays at 2 on News Talk STL.
Whoosh.
This is Gina Goff of Goff Productions. I'm producing a new movie in Missouri called At Niangua's End. You're listening to The Vic Porcelli Show on News Talk STL.
We will evict Joe Biden from the White House. We will continue and we will finish the draining of the swamp once and for all. The great silent majority is rising like never before, and that is happening. I've never seen spirit or enthusiasm like we have this time. More so than 2020, more so than 2016, and we had a lot. We had it in records, but it's never, because now they see how bad these people are. They're evil, they're sick. And under our leadership, the forgotten men and women will be forgotten no longer. With your help, your love, and your vote, we will put America first, and we will make America great again, bigger and better than ever before. Thank you, South Carolina. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
President Donald John Trump telling it like it is. He's not going to make the same mistake twice, Ken. He's not.
Nope.
He's going to get rid of them. No more reaching across the aisle. Get rid of the sick, evil people, and we'll have our country back, okay? Donald Trump, 2024. I'm in, okay? I'm on board. But you, hold on, because he's coming.
Remember, they're coming after me because I'm standing up for you.
All right. So, you know how Joe Biden likes to say he's the most pro-union president ever?
Yeah.
Donald Trump, correct me if I'm wrong, Ken, but I think Donald Trump was the most pro-life president ever.
Oh, I would easily agree with that.
You know?
Yeah.
He was the only president to go to the pro-life march in D.C. Nobody else had the guts to do it.
And if you think about sheer numbers, you know, and what presidents have done for union people, Donald Trump did a lot for the unions.
Yeah, sure.
He didn't spout it off like Joe does, saying, I'm the most pro. You know, he didn't stand up in front of them and do this fake thing for 5 minutes and then leave. He actually created jobs for them on the pipeline and other different sources.
And Joe crushed all that.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, while he's campaigning for president, saying, good paying union jobs.
Right.
Remember?
Right.
Good paying union jobs.
And says, I don't work for you.
Yeah. So what are you going to do when you're president? I'm going to cut good paying union jobs. Close down that pipeline. No more drilling in Anwar.
No more gas-powered engines that everybody's working on.
How is that pro-union, Ken?
And that's not. But he says it, Vic. He says it.
Oh, so it must be true.
He says it.
And can I say something, too, before we get into what we're going to play here? Joe Biden, Ken, you play so much evidence that Joe Biden has nothing left upstairs.
Every day.
Nothing left.
Every day.
So on the 5 yesterday, I had a chance to sit and watch some stuff yesterday. I watched the 5 yesterday. And Jessica Tarloff, you know Jessica Tarloff?
Oh, yeah.
She was like, well, you know, Donald Trump said yesterday that, you know, and it was like something when he misspoke, you know. It wasn't a, you know?
Yeah.
Don't conflate the two, okay? Nobody misspeaks more than me, you know? But at least I'm not, because there's a difference. Go ahead.
No, it's a huge difference. I mean, he does it all the time. And it's not like it's he's going so fast because he's so sharp that he just
Right.
blends all the work. It's just
Absolutely determined as Murphin and others are.
I mean,
to
what
get
is
this
that?
done.
Murphin and Reservoir. What's the matter with you?
You know, I mean, that's just one example of hundreds that I've got. But he doesn't. I think he doesn't hear it.
No, you're right.
When he says it.
You're right. So, couple of things that I saw on Twitter that made me think of you. One thing that you've been saying constantly is the Dominion voting machines.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
And now Dominion has been implicated in a bribery scheme.
Yeah.
According to an indictment by the DOJ, not just an investigation, an indictment. So I don't want to hear it from them anymore about Dominion, and they never should have got any kind of settlement. Go ahead.
This is just our opinion. I mean, this is our opinion. And I totally agree with you, Vic. I don't think that Dominion has any place in our voting system nationally anywhere.
Mm-hmm. So Dominion sued Mike Lindell. By the way, did you see what some bank, I think it was American Express, cut his, I don't know what the word is, from like $1 million down to like $100,000.
Oh, his limit?
Line of credit.
Line
His
of credit, yeah.
Why? Because he likes Trump?
That's the only reason.
But that's not how it works. That's not how it works.
Well, it does.
I can like anybody I want. That does not affect how I get to do business, how I get to lend from banks. It's got nothing to do with business.
This goes all the way back to, remember when Paul Kerman had the Defense of Freedom shut down?
right, Ken.
Back in December of 2021, I believe it was.
That's right.
And we were so torn up about it because of what they did to Paul. And it had to do with Visa and one of their subsidiaries. That moment told me, hey, this is for real. They can control you. They can control everything about you. If they can control your finances, which, by the way, they're flirting with the idea of doing digital currency. If they do, it's over, people. Listen, seriously, keep this in mind. If it comes up to where you can fight against digital currency, you must, or it's all over.
I retweeted that story about the Dominion and tagged Ken, because he was right on. You've been saying that from the beginning. You have not wavered from your hatred of Dominion and your accusations of Dominion, and I admire you for that.
Thanks.
But my response was,
I know.
I retweeted and just said, hey, Ken. Now, one for me. Is there an echo in here? How long have I been saying, stop talking about Joe Biden's age? It's not about age. It's his mental acuity. How long have I been saying that, Ken?
You've been saying it forever.
So
Hello? Echo.
Red State ran an article. Biden's problem isn't his old age, it's his old mind.
Yeah.
And because you and I can't be the smartest guys in America. I mean,
No.
I know we're pretty smart. We're pretty good. We're
pretty
pretty
good.
smart. But really, you didn't think they were going to use that against Trump, the old age thing? Because when we're done battering Joe Biden about how old he is, the left is going to say, well, Trump's old too.
See, what did we originally talk about, though? Once we started to see the media, and this is the tell here. Whenever the media starts to get on something, you can't automatically go, oh, see, look, they're behind it too. You have to look at it and say, why are they doing it?
Right.
Why are they now promoting that his cognitive skills aren't as good as they used to be? Because they're over with him. They're done with him. And what they need to do now is say, Joe, his mind is going or he's too old because Trump's too old.
Okay. Why did they step so far into the stuff
for
him then, early on? I mean, this didn't just happen yesterday. He's been saying this stuff for years and years.
But they had an agenda, Vic. They had to stick behind him for this long. They got all the stuff that they've gotten passed. Look at the border. Look at the border. Look at what they've done with electricity, EVs. Look what they've done with the Green New Deal or the quote unquote Inflation Reduction Act.
Right.
They got all this stuff passed
Yep.
because the media is complicit in spreading the lie.
So if they want their socialist government, when that happens, they'll be the first ones to go to jail. They'll be the first ones to be rounded up and thrown in jail because you don't get to say what you want to say anymore. You'll say what we tell you to say.
They don't feel that way. They think it's a special kind of socialism.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
No,
like the special kind of stupid that they are.
It's a special kind of, yes.
All right.
It's a special kind of socialism that they can control.
All right. I'm sorry. I talked my way right out of this break. Can we still do 20 of those? Okay, no. That's a no, Vic. Just shut your pie
Got an
hole
important guest
and
here,
get
Vic.
Mark Carter on the air. He's next on 101.9, 94.1 News Talk STL. Welcome home. God, that was funny.
Watch us on our live stream using Rumble, Facebook, and Twitter.
Weird. Really weird.
Forget about it.
The Vic Porcelli Show, made in St. Louis for St. Louis. It's News Talk STL.
All right, once again, I implore you to understand that when I sit here behind this microphone and I tell you, hey, the Wallners are great realtors. They're the best in town, right? They sell 15 times more homes than your regular realtor in town. But then when I tell you about the other things about them, I want to send you to people that I trust, that I admire, right? Jen Wallner can Angels Arms, is that what it's called?
Yeah.
She has this Angels Arms Foundation because, in case you didn't know, Jen Wallner, right, as successful as she is, came up through the foster care system, terrible right in the beginning, put into a terrible situation, then got put into a worse situation, and you know what? She fought, and she became one of, along with her husband Rodney, of the best realtors in town. Now, just on a personal, human level, she sent me a note about Sweeney because my dog died, and she sent a nice note.
Oh, that's nice.
Those are the kind of people I want to send you to.
Yeah.
Because let me tell you, there are people that don't give a damn about Sweeney, or you, by the way, or how much you get for your home. So, leads me back to the Wallner Home Selling Team. Great flexible commission plans to meet your needs. They have so many approved home buyers. They'll get you an offer. Hey, big breaking news, too. Rodney and Jen Wallner are now licensed in Missouri and Illinois. Great husband and wife team, just great people, okay? So give them a call if you're selling your house, 314-810-SOLD for Rodney and Jen Wallner, the Wallner Home Selling Team, 314-810-SOLD.
St. Louis's new choice for conservative talk.
Moved here from Indianapolis, decided to find a conservative talk show.
Live and local.
It's the Kim Gardner question. Yeah. Is this just incompetence, or is there malice behind this?
This is News Talk STL.
Kids don't always like to get school report cards, but they are important and helpful. They document subjects where they're strong and others where they need to show some improvement. Ever wonder why you don't get a report on how your child's school compares to others? At the Show Me Institute, we think you should, and that's why we've started the Missouri School Rankings Project. Click on the website moschoolrankings.org, and it's all there. Rankings and letter grades for all the schools in Missouri. The rankings are based on several categories, such as student performance in English, language arts, and math, ACT scores, and graduation rates. Then we take the rankings and come up with a grade point average, just like your child has. Each school and district will have a grade, and the website is easy to use. Don't you want to know how your child's school stacks up? Now you can. Learn more at showmeinstitute.org. The Show Me Minute has been brought to you by Show Me Institute and Show Me Opportunity.
News Talk STL is proud to have Doug Voss of Safe Money Radio as part of our lineup each week. Doug has been a staple on St. Louis radio for many years as one of the leading financial experts in the area. Doug and Safe Money Radio is on 3 times every weekend, but in case you miss anything, you can check it all out at DougVossSafeMoneyRadio.com or call 844-676-SAFE. That's 844-676-7233. Doug Voss is a registered representative. Securities offered through DHL Securities, LLLP. Member FINRA and SIPC.
Columbo here with an awesome offer from the cleaning pros we trust with our home, the team at Zero Res. Mention the Columbo special when you book a cleaning in September, and you'll get 3 rooms of carpet cleaned starting at just $129 plus $100 off your air duct cleaning, which is perfect this time of year because it will help alleviate allergies and asthma, lower your energy bills, and keep your home cleaner longer. Just mention the Columbo Special when you call 314-474-2020 or book online at ZeroResSTL.com.
Fox News commentary.
As if TikTok wasn't bad enough, now teens are using the platform to swap shoplifting tips and tricks. I'm Tommy Lahren. More next.
Hi, I'm Martha Stewart. Every year, more than 4 million pets enter shelters here in the United States. My friends at American Humane have been helping animals since 1877. The goal is to ensure that pets have a safe shelter, especially during natural disasters. Adopting a shelter pet allows shelters to help more animals awaiting care. Please consider adopting today and take some time to learn more about American Humane's other work at americanhumane.org.
Is the worst app ever downloaded for many reasons, including its origins with the Chinese Communist Party. But in addition to that, it's also melting the minds and apparently the morals of young users. There is a new viral trend on TikTok wherein users post and share tips on how to steal and shoplift and get away with it. Yeah, tutorials on how to break the law and steal from others using the hashtag #BorrowTipsAndTricks, which has 9 billion views and counting. Oh, and apparently store workers are also using this hashtag to give would-be thieves insider information. One Target worker has a video with over 1.7 million views detailing the best tips and tricks for that particular store. This is where we are, folks. A society with no morals, no decency, and no respect for others, let alone the rule of law. It's Lord of the Flies out there. I'm Tommy Lahren, and you can watch my show Tommy Lahren is Fearless at Outkick.com.
Whoosh.
Talk lines are open now at 314-912-1019. You're listening to The Vic Porcelli Show.
Just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in.
On Newstalk STL.
All right, welcome home to 1019-94.1 Newstalk STL. Before we get to our esteemed and honored guest, couple of things I want to bring up. David McCallum, the actor David McCallum from Man from U.N.C.L.E. passed away over the weekend.
Man.
He was like 80 old. And Brooks Robinson, the greatest third baseman in the history of the game of baseball, passed away at like 83. Wow. Brooks Robinson, he made some plays, Ken, I thought just Nolan Arenado probably can't even make, you know?
Yeah.
He was just so great. And there's a famous picture, and somebody did put it up on Facebook yesterday. It's the one where he just caught a line drive and he's on his stomach, dove to his left, and he's holding up the ball to show the ump that he caught it. It's a very famous picture of Brooks Robinson, number 5.
I just grew up with that name.
Yeah.
You know, you heard about him all the time.
All right, enough of that. Please rise, all rise. And the vice chair enters
From
the
the
courtroom.
County of
Where
St.
is it?
Louis.
Crime issues, economic development.
Vice Chair, St. Louis County Council.
Oh,
This is Mark Harder.
All right. Vice chair. Nobody else gets this but you. You understand that?
That's right.
Trumpets, servants, people feeding you grapes, and women
the
fanning
grapes
you
get
and
me. The
stuff.
grapes get me.
Yeah. They're white seedless, too, which is my favorite.
Welcome to my world.
Mark Harder, Vice Chair, how are you, sir?
Hey, this is great to be on with you guys again.
Thank you. We got a lot to talk about here, so let's get
Oh,
moving.
yeah, we got a lot.
I'd like to fit a minute or two in for the chat box, if you'll allow it, Mr. Vice Chair.
Well, we'll see.
Okay. Jamestown Mall, finally gone.
Big day yesterday. A bunch of us went out, a couple hundred people, and stood under the tents and watched the big ball hit Jamestown Mall and start to bring it down.
Oh, it was a wrecking ball, not an implosion thing?
Right. It was like a piece of equipment that they just kind of nibbled at it, and this little tower fell down, and so it was good to see, and squirting it with water and all that good stuff. So
I'd like to see video of that. Is there
I got
video?
some. I'll show it to you.
Okay.
But that was a big day. 10 years in the coming.
Right, Ken. When we talked about that before we got on the air,
that.
Ken was like, "Oh my God, it's about time." How long did you guys talk about that? Forever?
Oh, this has been just talking about demolition's been 10 years. The mall's been closed for over 10 years, and it's been an eyesore. It's been it's caught fire twice. It's been ravaged. It had mold. It had, you name it. It's been a mess up there in that area, and the people around it have been, have to wake up and look at this every day. So it was a good day to see that coming down, and we were able to get money from the state, and we used some of our ARPA money here locally to combine to get this thing torn down.
So what's the plan? What's going up?
Well, that's the next big step. I mean, this was 10 years. Come on.
Yeah, okay.
This is government.
Not going to take care of this in a
you're
day.
asking for miracles here, you know.
10 years from now, we'll ask.
Yeah,
him.
10 years from now, we'll still be talking
dead
about this.
by then. Good before.
But yeah,
then.
that will be up to the community up there. They're going to do some surveys like they've done before and talk about different things, whether it's going to be subdivision, whether it's going to be, you know, some retail. But it's a big piece of property. It's over 130 acres of property. Not just the mall was a big chunk of it, but there's a lot of property around it that could be developed as well. So there's a lot that can be done there in that location.
All right.
So that was one thing. That started my day.
Yeah.
And then I want to tell you a little bit of bonus while we were there, and we're going through, everybody is doing their speeches about this and that and so on. We had a little cat fight between our chair, Shalonda Webb, and one of the senators from that area. And I think this had been brewing for a while and waiting for this event.
What was the fight about?
Well, it's about kind of who gets credit for tearing down the mall.
And
so they both were on stage at the same time. They were, you know, one was, in one person's opinion, shouldn't have been there, and the other person was there, and so it became a little bit interesting to watch it all unfold in front of us.
Got video?
I'm hoping there's video out there. Before we figured out, I was trying to get, so I got some still pictures, but I was, you know, it kind of came on like, watch this, and it, you know, and the longer it went on, we're going, this is not going to look good. This is, you know, this is a hot mess after a while. So, and then when it came picture time to stand next to the wreckage of the mall and so on, then it was all elbows, you know, who gets in the picture and all this kind of stuff. So it wasn't a good scene for many.
So just out of curiosity, how long does it take to tear down a mall like that? How long did that take?
Well, this is going to take probably 7 months.
Oh, wow.
I mean, it's a huge mall, big property, has to be, you know, and now today everything's got to be recycled. So you got to, you know, go after all the steel and the drywall and everything and separate it and haul it away. And so it's going to take a while.
All right. You had a busy day yesterday. Jamestown Mall, then juvenile justice was on the schedule yesterday.
Right. Yeah, we had a special meeting about our juvenile justice system. I don't know if anybody's been following this story, but we've had some parents come to us that says that their kids are being abused in the system, that they're not being given bathroom breaks in a timely manner, they're being mistreated, they're being bullied, and so on and so forth. So we called in 3 weeks ago. We called in the chief judge for this circuit because she supervises that part of it. The juvenile justice system is run by the state, not by the county, but we subsidize their building and some of the maintenance and a lot of things from our budget. But their people are state employees and go by state laws. So, and we have the building part of our judge takes care of that. So they were there. All the people underneath the judge were there. And so we got an opportunity to grill them, ask them questions. But the funny thing that happened is that our chairwoman, again, got in a tit-for-tat type of spat with Councilman Tracus over what he could say and what questions he could ask these people. And it got a little ugly in that meeting as well. So you can go to our YouTube, or not YouTube channel, but it's actually Boxcast, and watch the proceeds. And it was about an hour-and-a-half meeting. And we're not done. We found out that we're just the tip of the iceberg with some issues, so we're going to have another meeting on this topic again, hopefully in the next 2 to 3 weeks.
All right, so this juvenile justice problem happens in Clayton, right?
Correct.
Isn't that the same? Is it the same building or a different building where they were having some problems in a jail in Clayton? Was that not Clayton too?
Well, we've got the adult jail, which is across the street from the juvenile jail.
Okay,
the juvenile detention center is part of our courthouse building.
Okay.
And it was built when they built the new courthouse building. So it's a nice facility if it's maintained properly, and it will hold roughly about 60 to 62 detainees. And we've been overrun recently, and from a number of people because of the high crime rate now with a lot of juveniles stealing cars and things like that. So the average census in there a year ago, a little over a year ago, was about 20 to 25 detainees, and now we're close to 60. in the high 50s on a regular basis. So we got some issues there, and it all comes down to personnel and people doing the right thing and people doing the wrong thing.
All right. Were you going to say something good?
You know, Charles Gredicke said, I guess per the conversation about your chairman who's getting a little, letting her leadership role go to her head a little bit. Politics is a full contact sport.
Boy, it sure is.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, a lot of
Charles.
drama.
Good to hear
Lot of
from you
drama.
down there in Jeffco. All right, so speaking of Shalonda, this gun ban thing that she wants to do, similar to what the city did.
Right.
The word unconstitutional has come up in the discussion of this.
Yep, in capital letters, and I made that known yesterday when we talked about it. So the bill was introduced last week, and what it does is it deals with those under the age of 16 that are open carry in St. Louis County, unincorporated area. So it's a very small area that this can apply, and she wants to create basically a new rule over existing state and federal laws that are already out there. So if you're under 16 and you're carrying a weapon, you're not going to be carrying that very long if the police stop you. And that's federal law, state law. She wants to create another layer of violation, but the penalty is $25. So as we got into this discussion, I said, this is not going to take one more gun off the street. It's laughable with this penalty. And it's a solution looking for a problem.
You know what?
And
so
that's where a lot of these are. It's a feel-good piece of legislation. It will probably pass because of the makeup of our council, but I'll be voting against it. It's a waste of time.
I'm sick of this. I'm sick of, because it's not, you don't have to be Einstein to figure out that the guns that are killing kids in the street in North St. Louis every night are not registered. They weren't purchased properly. You know, there was no paperwork. They didn't go through a background check. Those are the gun problems, not the people they're going after, which is Ken and me and you.
Right, and those that are in that age group. But at the same time, there's a lot of problems. First off, it creates a patchwork of laws, and that's what the state law and the federal law is supposed to avoid. In other words, if we adopt this in unincorporated St. Louis County in, say, blackjack, and somebody... It's illegal in blackjack, but if you go down the street to Florissant, maybe it won't be illegal.
I'm sorry, blackjack unincorporated?
Yes.
Or, they are unincorporated?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, so portions of it in that zip code. And so, you know, it's an issue between unincorporated and incorporated because the state, which also bars this type of behavior, it covers the whole state uniformly. So you don't have, the police aren't confused, people aren't confused. They know where it is. The problem is we've got youth in this town that are doing TikTok videos. They're threatening people by waving their guns around, which is a violation of federal law, and they are not getting prosecuted. The issue is we've got to prosecute these people, and the federal and state is the best place to go, not St. Louis Municipal Court for a $25 fine. It's ridiculous.
So they're just simply not enforcing. That's what.
That's
I
where a
mean,
lot of
when
this
you
is.
brandish, it's against the law.
It's against the law.
But they're not looking at any of this logically.
No,
None of it.
It's feel-good legislation. They passed similar legislation in the city of St. Louis. They passed similar legislation in Jackson County, which is Kansas City, and it's not been challenged in court yet, but I imagine it will. And I've talked to people that with the NRA, and they will probably challenge this.
It better.
And it will be an easy challenge, and we'll probably get sued over it as the county and the city of St. Louis and everybody else, and it'll spend a lot of money on this.
Mark, we're running out of time. Wouldn't you like to see some sort of law about the guns I'm talking about that are killing kids?
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Instead of wasting time with responsible gun owners, go after the thugs, go after the criminals. Does that make sense, or am I a racist, or what am I?
No,
What?
no, and that's where we need to go. We need to go after the underground gun market in this town, which there is.
Of course there is.
There is, a 16-year-old, can't purchase a gun, so where did they get it? It's probably stolen, either from their family or from somebody else, or it was given to them. You've got people, they're not going to get a concealed carry license because they can't get a concealed carry license when you're 16.
Right.
So, all these things, they're breaking the law now, so why create another goofy law like this that pretty much means nothing? It's a laugh in the face.
We're out of time. How's the campaign going in 10
Campaign was
seconds?
great. We had a big fundraiser the other night. He had about 75 people there, raised a lot of money, and people are, the momentum is rolling.
All right, Mark, thanks. Hey, thanks for having the record player on at night. Listen to us this morning.
Make sure you have the record player on at night.
Dan Bongino up next on 101.9 and 94.1 News Talk STL. Welcome home.
Whoosh.
Is your retirement income at risk if you or your spouse needs nursing home or in-home care? Hi, I'm Eric Robert, Director of Investments with the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel and host of On the Money, Saturday mornings at 9 on News Talk STL 101.9. The cost of long-term care is one of the biggest risks in retirement planning. For many retirees, a single nursing home stay can cause a significant reduction in assets that can permanently reduce your retirement income. Fortunately, there are affordable and flexible options available today that can help you manage the cost of long-term care. Our team can help you address the risks relevant to your retirement, including long-term care. To schedule your free retirement plan consultation, go to clearpathinvesting.com. That's clearpathinvesting.com, or call us at 636-695-2650. That's clearpathinvesting.com or 636-695-2650. Stifel Nicholas and Company Incorporated, member SIPC and NYSE.
It's your last chance to cut a deal at Seidenstricker Nobe Partners. Save up to $5,000 on select John Deere compact tractor packages with our exclusive 10-year warranty. And we're offering 0% financing for 60 months with zero down. Get your John Deere equipment by shopping online or visiting us at any of our 28 locations. Let's cut a deal now before it's too late. snpartners.com.
Offer valid through 9/30/2023. Some restrictions apply. See dealer for details.
Get charged up on the truth. Power Punch with Larry Behrens.
Gas prices are crashing higher once again, and the Biden administration is employing a new tactic to try to make us believe they're not responsible. We'll help you see through it. And when you go to rent that car, are you choosing all those fancy EVs? No, you're not, and you're not alone. We'll talk about it this week.
Power Punch with Larry Behrens. Saturday afternoons at 4 on News Talk STL.
Get more Power Punch at powerthefuture.com.
KLGY HD3 Clayton, K270BW Bellefonte, KNBS Bowling Green. This is News Talk STL at 101.9, 94.1, and always streaming at newstalkstl.com.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm John Scott. The second GOP presidential debate is tonight, set for 9 p.m. Eastern, and former President Trump will be a no-show again. White House correspondent Greg Clugston reports.
Making good on his promise to not do the debates, Trump is skipping the event here in California as he did the first debate in Milwaukee last month. Once again, he's dialed into counter-programming, this time with a primetime speech to union workers in Michigan. Trump argues that he, not President Biden, is the United Auto Workers Union's best choice for the White House. Greg Clugston, Simi Valley, California.
Also at townhall.com, calls for Democratic U.S. Senator Bob Menendez of New Jersey to step down are mounting as he prepares to answer to federal criminal charges in court. Menendez making his first court appearance. In Manhattan's federal court, his wife is also charged, and it's been reported now Menendez has pled not guilty to the charges. Private Travis King, who had served in South Korea and sprinted into North Korea while on a civilian tour of a border village in July, is now in U.S. custody, according to U.S. officials.
One official said King was transferred to American custody in China. The officials spoke on condition of anonymity to discuss King's status ahead of an announcement. Earlier, North Korea had said it would expel King. That announcement surprised some observers who'd expected the North to drag out his attention in the hope of squeezing concessions from Washington. Though King's expulsion resolves a still mysterious episode, it almost certainly does not end his troubles or ensure the sort of celebratory homecoming that has accompanied the releases of other detained Americans. I'm Charles Tilletesma.
Stocks have moved lower now. The Dow is down 138 points and the NASDAQ losing 28 points. More at townhall.com.
Donald Trump warned America. The U.S. dollar is under attack, and it's becoming less and less valuable by the day. Hyperinflation and speculation is killing your retirement. Don't leave your money sitting in cash. It's time you diversified and protected your future with physical precious metals. Call Advantage Gold at 800-900-8000 and get your free digital dollar survival kit and learn how you could get up to $1,000 in free silver today. Call Advantage Gold now at 800-900-8000 to get your free digital dollar survival kit. And you may qualify for $1,000 in free silver. Advantage Gold is the #1 rated gold and silver company in America. Your future is precious. Protect it today when you call Advantage Gold. Call 800-900-8000 now.
Advantage Gold is not an investment advisor or a tax advisor. Check with your financial advisor before investing.
That's 800-900-8000.
From the Michaels Flooring Outlet Weather Center.
After scattered storms with a lot of lightning and some heavy downpours for the morning commute, rain chances drop off pretty quickly. Just a slight chance of a shower or storm this afternoon and this evening. Most of that's east and south of St. Louis. Otherwise, becoming partly cloudy this afternoon, high in the low 80s. Tonight, dry, partly cloudy, down to about 64. And then it's all about a warming trend. Mid-80s Thursday, but upper 80s to near 90 from Friday through the weekend. That's your First Alert forecast. I'm meteorologist Matt Chambers.
This hour of News Talk STL is brought to you by Rodney and Jen Wallner and the entire Wallner home selling team at Berkshire Hathaway. Call them today at 314-810-SOLD. 314-810-SOLD.
Missouri Wild Alchemy is a local and family-owned business dedicated to providing consumers with high-quality cannabis and education. They strive to make customers feel comfortable and to help curtail the stigma of cannabis use by having a professional and well-educated staff. They're proud to carry products from several Missouri cultivators and manufacturers. Missouri Wild Alchemy, now serving recreational customers 21 and above, as well as patients. Follow them on Facebook and Instagram, or visit MissouriWild.com. That's MissouriWild.com.
Get ready for winter by making sure your family is warm and safe when the bone-chilling weather gets here. Mike Ferguson here for Anton's Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Energy Experts. Call them today to get your furnace tune-up. It's only $89, and it could save you hundreds or even thousands by preventing a breakdown. 314-338-3941 or antonshvac.com. Anton's installed our HVAC system, and we love it. Put their expertise and excellent customer service to work for you, just like they did for my house. antonshvac.com.
Picture this, a room filled with fellow Republicans, all with one question. What could the future of St. Louis City look like under the leadership of Bill Eigel as governor?
Hi, this is Mary Teresa McClain with the Republican Party, City of St. Louis. It's more than a meeting. It's an invitation to hear Senator Bill Eigel talk about the future of our city.
Join us on Thursday, October 5th. Doors open at 6:30 p.m. Visit stlouisrepublicans.com for more details.
Paid for by St. Louis City Republican PAC. Curtis Farber, Treasurer.
Want to tell you all about professional irrigation, proirrigation.com. How'd your lawn do this summer? You tired of dragging hoses all over the place, back and then again? Did you know that Professional Irrigation will do a custom irrigation design for your property, and it will just take one day? We did it at our Jones home years ago. We've never looked back. Professional Irrigation also installs landscape lighting to accent the architecture of your home, making your neighbors envious. They offer fertilization packages as well, and they have great financing options. 636-692-4441, proirrigation.com. That's proirrigation.com.
Subscribe and watch your favorite News Talk STL shows.
Mike Ferguson in the morning. The Vic Porcelli Show. Columbo and Katie. Jones and Arps.
Webcam streaming on Facebook, Twitter, Rumble.
Subscribe and watch.
News Talk STL. News, analysis, opinion. News Talk STL.
From the NYPD to the Secret Service to behind the microphone, taking the fight to the radical left and the putrid swamp. You're listening to the Dan Bongino Show. Here he is, Dan Bongino.
Listen, if you just got done listening to the podcast, you know I'm just in a mood today. I don't even know how to describe how I feel right now, folks. There's just nowhere to go. There's nowhere to go where you're safe from these people. These big government liberal lunatics. There's just nowhere. They are all liars, scumbags, every one of them. They will screw you over in a minute. It's the worst people on planet Earth find themselves in politics. The scum of this rock we live on find themselves in politics. I'm thinking this morning, I consider it a compliment I ran for office and lost. I think I'd be offended if I'd won. I never thought years later I'd be able to say that, but I have got to thank the Lord today, publicly, not using his name in vain. I don't do that. I'm so glad I lost. Because I just would never want to be one of these losers. Just the worst people on planet Earth. What am I talking about? Where's all this from? Well, folks, I'm a local radio guy, too. I'm on in South Florida on 850 WFTL and covers the county I live in. So I don't only get to be a national host, but I get to be a local one, too, which is pretty good. I like that. And a lot of people don't have a voice, but I do. So a lot of people come to me to be heard. So now I'm coming to you. So what happened? Well, I woke up this morning to a series of messages and emails and texts and all kinds of other communications from people. First, in case you hadn't heard, Chuck Schumer and Mitch McConnell. Yeah, Mitch, that's right. Sold you out again. They agreed on this wonderful spending package, which is going to bankrupt us. I don't know. We're on a trajectory to a de facto bankruptcy now in about probably 5 years instead of 10. De facto bankruptcy where interest rates have to go through the roof to curb the inflation because we have to print money to pay off the debts we can't pay through the tax base. We're right there. I mean, we're right there now. So McConnell and Schumer agreed to a continuing resolution, a cop-out resolution, because we're all going, bankrupt, and nobody cares anymore. There's no serious people in politics. Of course, the Wall Street Journal editorial column will be like, and the adults in the room, the Mitch McConnell, shut the government shut down. Yeah, you guys totally got this pegged. But it's not just that. I wake up this morning and I get a message from a friend who attended a meeting. I live in Martin County. I just want to show you, this isn't just national. This is everywhere. The Republican Party is as dead as a doornail. Now, again, why do I vote for them? Because I've got two choices, bad and worse, and I'll take bad. But my golden rule proves true every single day, that most Republicans are really Democrats. However, no Democrats are really Republicans. You will never see a Democrat vote for a tax decrease, but you will see Republicans vote for tax hikes and more spending every single day, proving the axiomatic point. Jim, am I correct? Most Republicans are really Democrats who are politicians, but no Democrats are really Republicans. It is a golden rule of life. It is an axiomatic, tautological fact. McConnell, McCarthy, none of them care. All they're doing is going along with the Democrat talking points that we can't shut the government down. We shut the government down. We're not going to fund vital services. Vital services? We are bankrupt. We are $30 trillion in debt. Our GDP, the gross domestic product, i.e. what we produce, that's where the P comes from in gross domestic product. We don't even make enough stuff to pay off the debt. We're piling $2 trillion a year or more in debt. It's not even factoring in entitlements and projected long-term costs of that. We're probably closer to $100 trillion in debt, and nobody cares. And then I find out I live in Martin County, Florida. Folks, don't move down. I'm dead serious, man. When you move to Florida, if you're moving down to these southern counties and you think oh, look, they have all Republicans in charge down there. Don't even bother. Really, you're better off going to other places that are more conservative, because I love it down here. But I've been thinking about this for a while. I may have to pull chocks and get out of here. This place has been a headache from the start. We have a bunch of county commissioners down here, all Republican, by the way, 5 of them, who are lunatics. They're absolute lunatics. They pass mask mandates. They sit on their asses and do nothing. Every single session they're in, there's always talk of some tax hike, Spending here is up dramatically. And you think, oh, you're in Florida with 5 out of 5 county commissioners are Republican. And you know what they did last night? Every single one of them voted for a tax hike. It's not just McConnell. It's not just McCarthy. It's happening at county levels, city levels, state levels. It's happening everywhere. They simply cannot control themselves. Doug Smith, coward. Ed Campy, coward. Stacey Hetherington, the biggest coward. She's the one who actually, oh, Dan, I'm a big champion for, oh, yeah, sure you are. Sure you are. Sarah Hurd, she's a Republican. She's really a Democrat. She pretends to be a Republican. She's useless anyway. And then you've got this Harold Jenkins. Again, these guys, I mean, the level of stupidity with these 5. But you understand, this is not, just because it's a decent-sized county in Florida and I live here, it's the same argument nationally. You're not going to fix these people. You're not going to fix these people. We've got to fix the structure and the system because they're all cowards. I thank God I lost because I don't want to ever fit in with these people. This Stacey lied right to my face. This woman, oh, man. Big, conservative, fighting against higher taxes. I expect nothing out of the other 4. They're all chumps. Nothing. Every time I see them, they look away to absolute cowards. By the way, I'm going to tell you something, folks. You want to see something epic?